This episode of the Fabulous Boomer Boys is presented to you by Cuyahoga Community College and the Encore Campus Friday programs, available at the Eastern Campus in Highland Hills and the Western Campus in Parma. The next session starts on March 22nd. And now, here are your hosts of the Fabulous Boomer Boys, Bob Snyder and Bruce Bogart.
Hey, we're live tonight. We are live from the iconic Corky and Lenny's in Woodmere, Ohio. I'm Bruce Bogart, one of the Fabulous Boomer Boys. With me is my buddy since 4th grade in a small town in South Euclid, Ohio. That's Bob Snyder. Hey, it's good to be here.
All right.
And we've been doing this since autumn, let's say, of last year. This is the first time I have been permitted to be the first speaker of the two of us. And thank you very much. No notes. I don't have to write down my name. Anyway, why, Bob? Tell them why I opened the show.
Well, last week we had Ivan Schwartz on from the Cleveland Film Commission. We were talking about the Academy Awards, and I went out on the limb and predicted the winner for the Best Actress Award, Glenn Close, because I thought she was great in the movie Wife. And guess what? It was the big upset of the awards. She did not win.
We bet on the air.
We bet on the air. And actually, Ivan Schwartz did predict the person that won. I never even heard of her, by the way, but it's from the movie The Favorite. But she won, and Ivan did say on the program, it's on tape, well, it's not tape, but it's on the program, on YouTube, that she would win, and he did. And Bruce challenged me, made the bet. And Bruce, I'm a good loser, and you did a great job.
That's right. Anyway, it's good to be here, and how was your week?
My week was great. Can you tell? You tell I was in good weather. If this doesn't come out on the camera, I'll be very disappointed. I was in the Turks and Caicos with another childhood friend, over 50 years, my friend Skip Rosenmutter, and he's a big scuba diver. He likes to scuba with the whales. And Turks and Caicos is very well known for that kind of thing. And he took me and made me join him on a snorkeling expedition. It was a windy day, and it was the only bad day of the trip because the waves were going. And you get out there and you snorkel. For any of you that snorkel, you put on the mask and you got to breathe through the mask and you got these fins. And if you stand up straight, the water takes you straight down. So you got to lay flat in the water and you see these beautiful fish, Bruce. I know you'd care about that a lot.
Well, I don't know too many Jews that go snorkeling, frankly. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, all right. But anyway,
go ahead, tell us, because we all want to hear about snorkeling.
All right, well, it was kind of thrilling seeing the fish, but, after about 5-10 minutes, a fish is a fish. One's one color, one's another. So I decided I'm going to go back
we got a good
to
guest,
the boat.
Good guest.
And I get on the boat, and the boat is rocking while it's anchored out there. And before you know it, I said, Skip, I got to go to the other end of the boat. And there went my lunch. But anyway, it was a great time other than that 5 minutes.
Riveting story, isn't it?
Well, the reason I bring the story up, besides the fact that we were in the Turks and Caicos, and I know you're jealous about that, because I went, but the point that I bring up is that we were at Club Med. And when I was in my early 30s, I remember going to the Club Med. And that's when I was between marriages, so it was okay that I was there. And I was single. And I got to tell you, it was really perfect for single people, I thought. So Skip and I decided that we wanted to see, because he went also one time with me, and we wanted to see what would it be like to go to the Club Med now, being baby boomers. Well, to our
being 70.
Okay, we're baby boomers. To our surprise, the Club Med is not, at least in Turks and Caicos, what it was back then. We were not, first of all, the oldest people there. The place is beautiful. It's a beautiful beach. They still have all the activities, and it's all-inclusive and that kind of thing. But there were people like the people we have in our audience here tonight, baby boomers, some older, some younger, and they were almost all couples. In fact, I think they thought Skip and I were a couple. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think they did, because it was almost all couples. And I felt like I'm going to be a little bit of a travel agent and say I think it's a great trip for couples to go there, because you have everything there is taken care of for you, and your drinks, your food, and it's just a lot of fun. And it wasn't a bunch of 20-year-olds running around trying to go to bed with someone.
Can I just suggest that if anybody has any more questions about his vacation after the show, Bob will be able to talk to you. because I think we got something better to do than talk
All
about
right, you're
an
right.
old man on a
Absolutely.
beach.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. So why don't you let's bring our guests.
All
Since you
right.
did the opening, you bring the guests out.
All right, let me tell you, we're thrilled tonight because we've got a champion in our midst.
A champion.
Okay, in Cleveland, there aren't too many champions these days, but we've got one. Steve, come on out.
Tell everybody his name.
I could go with Steve O.
Steve O.
Oh, yeah, the journey? Yeah, I've got it.
There it is.
There they are.
Steve Oppenheim. And Bruce, you know, I hate to say it. Okay, so tell everybody where was the champion from. I mean, really.
So we were taping a show on a Monday night, maybe a month ago, and I get home and my wife says to me, I taped Jeopardy because a guy from Shaker Heights is on, and he won some real money. And $30,000 or something like that, right?
Is that right? Well, how much did you win?
33,201.
$33,000. Unbelievable.
So your checks go to him tonight, everybody. Anyway, congratulations, and then you got a nice spread in the Jewish news after contemporaneous to that.
Yeah, I got contacted by the reporter on
Jane
online.
Kaufman.
No, the guy who
Really?
Well, I think it was the guy who actually wrote the story. It might not have been his byline on it, but because I had a phone interview with him.
All right, forget the Jewish news.
Yeah.
No, we want to hear about it. Let's hear about what happened here on Jeopardy. You met Alex Trebek, right? But you don't just. I remember living in New York when I first got out of college, and I used to go with a friend of mine who used to be one of our hosts when we were on radio, Stuart Fenn. We used to watch the game shows, and they would always ask the people in the audience afterwards, if you're interested in being a guest, stick around. They'll give you a test. So how did it come about? Give us the wrap on that.
So nowadays, it's an online test. They give it about once a year, maybe closer to once every 15 months now. They'll usually advertise it on the show. And if you pass the online portion, you get an in-person audition. They've had them in Cleveland before, but I went to Pittsburgh for mine in 2017.
Okay, when
And-
you say online questions, give us an example. I mean, are they really hard? Because some of those Jeopardy questions
no,
are.
So I think they're meant to be about middle of the board questions because you're supposed to get most of them.
How do you answer them? You put a buzzer, or you have 7 seconds to answer it
It's
typing, or
12, I think. So
and you type it in?
yeah,
Oh, you type it in after 12 seconds.
yeah. So there's just barely enough time that you could probably Google the answers if you wanted to, but then at the in-person audition, they give you a written test of 50 questions, so it wouldn't do you much good.
Okay, so give me a little idea. Do they give you all the different categories? I'm
So,
sure they.
so what'll happen is they go like one at a time, and it'll flash the category, and then about 3 seconds later, it'll give you a buzz to indicate that the question's coming on, and then the question, and you type it in the box, and it doesn't give you any indication if you were correct or not. I was just trying to keep track of my own score, so I'd like to do a check mark if I knew something was right, and if I was questionable, I'd write what my answer was, so that I think, I can remember what the question was.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that wasn't the first. You didn't get on the first time you took that test. It's not that easy, right?
No, I've taken the test probably 4 or 5 times, and this was my second audition. I had won, the one that was in Cleveland was in 2011. So.
Is that when you grew the beard? You figured you had a better chance?
They thought it was someone else.
I think I had.
Or did you want to? Yeah, you didn't want to know who you were because you were there once before.
I think I had the beard the first time. I may not have. I think I came off better in my audition than I did. I was in college back then. May have just helped to be a little older.
Well, you weren't on the college edition, though, right?
No, and
Okay.
I know sometimes that.
See, I watched the show.
I won't say discourage, but I know some people who've been college age and tried to get on the normal show have felt like they maybe didn't get a fair shake. They kind of want to funnel you into college when you're that age.
How much time before this show did you get to meet the people you were contesting?
So you ride over with them if they were in the contestant hotel.
So did they put you up at a hotel?
They give you a hotel that they suggest that has a discounted rate. They do not pay for you.
Oh, they don't pay for the hotel.
They don't pay for anything, really. The only thing they paid for was on the way, when I had my second show, because I was a returning champion, they pay for your flight.
Oh, that's
So they
great.
Oh,
book
so
your
the,
flight to get
so,
back out.
oh, so the first time you're on, it's all you're taking a gamble a little
Yeah.
bit there. Come down there and be a TV star, right?
Yeah, I think one of the guys in my second taping was talking about he was from Canada. He was saying that had he gotten third place instead of second, that it wouldn't have covered his entire
expense.
trip.
Right. Okay. So when you
But the
when,
contestants,
yeah, so
so
how-
you meet them on the shuttle, and you're in the green room for about a good 3 or 4 hours before you start taping any shows. So you get a good sense of who you're against.
Let me ask you, what are you doing in the green room for 3 hours?
They give you a lot of legal stuff and prep, basically about what you should expect during taping.
And while you're there, are you thinking, when I see that person, they're stupid, I could beat them?
I think I wasn't really trying to feel people out because you don't know who you're going to play anyway.
are you trying to psych them out? I mean,
No,
a little.
no one was really playing mind games or anything. I was almost expecting somebody to try to be,
One way or the other.
maybe be antagonistic or trying to get people off their game. Everybody was really friendly. I think they knew that it's probably not worth it to try to, to alienate yourself in the room to get an advantage against somebody that you might not even be playing and might not even be an advantage. You don't really know if you're hitting somebody, if it'll affect them.
I'm going to backtrack just for a second. This is when you already were picked, though.
Yes, yes.
So during your personal audition, okay. So what kind of things are they asking you? I mean, I'm sure they ask you, you're married, what do you do? But other than that, anything you found interesting that they asked you?
So for the in-person audition, you don't get much time where they have like one-on-one. It's still a group setting, and you do the test, and then they bring everybody up for like a practice game. And I think the trick they've said is that they don't actually care if you get questions right or not. They're looking for your inflection. They're looking for you to have a TV voice, to be audible. They're looking for some personality, and then they ask you.
Bruce, I think you're on. You can make it, Bruce.
And
Thank
they
you,
ask
Bob.
what your.
I'm going to hear what he has to say, but I talk to you every day of my life. I'm
They
sorry,
ask
Steve.
what your anecdote would be,
Yeah.
and I think that's an important one. But they ask you for 5 of them on the actual application. It's tough to. I don't know. Maybe I'm only 31. Maybe later I'll have more things to pick out. But it was tough to pick 5 things that I thought would be interesting for a TV interview.
So you're sitting in the green room. Do they have an extra person there in case someone doesn't show up?
They do. There's one local who's an extra. So they basically have 2 LA locals, and they don't know which one's going to be.
Oh, where
on.
do they film it?
It's in Culver City, California.
Oh,
So
California. I always thought
I
it used to be in New York.
figured New York,
It
yeah.
used to be in New York, yeah.
So yeah, they have 2 alternates, and then the last show of the day, they will pick one of them to play and one of them to go home, unless somebody had dropped, and then they both go.
Wow.
Okay. So, all right, then you didn't meet Alex Trebek
No, you do
beforehand.
not meet him until you're actually taping.
No, you know why that is, Bruce?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because of the quiz show scandal. Those of you that are old enough to remember, back when 21 and I think it was tic-tac-toe.
They're all old enough to remember.
Well, all right, so the quiz show scandal, the millennials don't know anything about this, but they had to make all kinds of laws. They had these quiz shows on television, and the guy would win hundreds of thousands of dollars. It turned out he was getting answers ahead of time. So they want to
Remember the
make
guy's
sure
name?
they're...
Remember his name? Charles Van Doren.
Charles Van Doren. He ended up getting a job as a co-host on a Today Show, and they had to fire him because they found out that he wasn't as smart as he was. Not because of how he was on a Today Show, but because they were feeding him questions. There was a movie about it. I forgot what it was called now. I think it was
Quiz show.
Quiz Show. I think it won some
Quiz Show.
Academy Awards.
It's a good movie, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Right? Yeah,
$50. $50.
Is he a good guest or what? Anyway.
Frankly,
so-
it was not in the form of a question.
That's right.
I'm done with that for the rest of my life.
Oh no! Not tonight.
Don't they have returning
we got
champions nights or something like that?
Well, I didn't win nearly enough to be tournament
Oh, okay.
champion.
Oh, you
but,
did?
I could be. I don't know. They had a battle of the decades thing once that had like a fan vote. So I don't know if they ever had like a fan favorite.
All right, all of you, when
Thing.
they had that fan vote, get out there on YouTube and vote for it. Okay. All right. You've done all. You've met Alex Trebek. Okay. Here's the big question, because we have a surprise for you in just a few minutes for our audience about what we're going to be doing next. But on the show, I always see people with their things going like this and not getting it. What is that all about? How do you know when to buzz in?
So the buzzer, The indicator that you're allowed to buzz is a light that is around the edge of the question board.
See, I bet none of you knew that, right? Did you know
And there's somebody at a computer who, when that light goes on, he's supposed to press a button to basically unlock the buzzers. There's also, well, they tell you that it's supposed to coincide with Alex finishing the question. His last word, light goes off, guy hits the button. So what happens is you'll see people really jamming on it, and they tell you to do that once you think it's good to buzz in. They say there's nothing wrong with just hitting it a lot. But what happens is if you buzz early, you get locked out for about half a second. So that's why some people buzz a little early, and then you'll see them, hitting the buzzer again.
So they can see the first line of the answer and think they have the question ready, but Alex is still reading.
Yeah. So
Okay.
in some ways it helped because the board's actually harder to read than you might think. I almost wish that I brought glasses.
Really?
So
Yeah.
I was partially listening for him to read the question, but it's good because it gives you time to know if you want to buzz or not. I decide halfway through if I thought I knew it or not.
So do you study for the show before you go on it?
I did. I feel like most people do, but it's impossible to study for a show that could ask as many things as Jeopardy. So I just tried to.
Do you play the home version?
I mean, I play along with the TV show, which I think a lot of people do. I tried to shore up some weaknesses. I'm not the best geography trivia player, and I know that is one of the most frequent things they have on the show. So I studied things that are easier to study, in my opinion. So like world capitals, because there's not that many of them, and they come up disproportionately a lot for how important they really are.
Okay. Well, I know I read a statistic or something here that they about you that I was kind of impressed with, that you answered 44 questions correctly and only 5 incorrectly. Come on. How many of you can say you watched Jeopardy and answered 44 out of 50 questions?
That's only a B.
Well, Bruce, you're going to get your chance.
Okay.
You'll see why in just a minute, but before you do that, we have a perfect advertiser for tonight's program.
Can I do it?
Please.
I want to do it because when you were out of town laying on a beach with all the people a third your age, let me tell you what I got by email. I got an email from Cuyahoga Community College.
Okay.
Okay, did you know, Bob, that Cuyahoga Community College offers educational programming tailored to the intellectual interests of individuals 55 and older? That's you, Bob.
That's right.
Okay, Encore Campus Fridays allows participants to register up to 6 courses. This is on the Eastern Campus, not far from Corky and Lenny's in Highland Hills, or the Western Campus in Parma, for a single registration fee of $99. All right. Courses are held on Fridays between 9 and 3. 9 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. Next 7-week session starts in March 22nd. Not that far down the road. Registration is now open. So if you want more information, we're going to put this down across the screen, 216-987-2274, or visit try-c.edu/encore. And Tyler, make sure you clean up my mess when you fix the tape, okay?
Read it one more time.
I'm not reading it again,
all right.
but you can spell it, Bob.
I enjoyed listening to it.
C.
Okay. All right. So here's what we thought we would do, if you don't mind. I
I assume I don't mind.
Okay. All right. We're gonna have, because Bruce is our expert on everything. We're gonna have a little. I wrote some questions here.
Okay.
And we're going to have a little contest. We have only 2 categories, but we're going to have a little Jeopardy contest. And for each of you tonight, we don't have a light. We have a little,
Bob.
little cowbell. Well, I don't know. We call it our
Here.
Corky and Lenny bell. Okay.
Did anybody have, when Albert Fell was on the Indians, they gave these out, the Albert Fell?
Okay.
Still have that, I think.
We don't have a big budget, All right.
No Indian sponsorship.
But
Not yet.
I've always wanted to host a game show. From who knows when. When Miss Reibold, who we've had on earlier, let me be the MC of the talent show at school, I always wanted to be able to host a show. So tonight I get my wish.
Why don't you stand up?
I am going to be our host, and I'd like everybody to know that this is Jeopardy.
Oh, all right. I like that.
Now, we have 2 categories tonight, but because it's too hard to pick one. We'll just do one category, then go through the other one.
Okay.
That's a quick question, though. Did you, when you picked your questions, because I know there was one guy who was great on the show, and he just would pick questions all over. Did you go in order and finish a category, or did you kind of jump around?
I finished. I told myself I might try the Arthur G thing, the skipping around, but I was like, when I'm locked into a category, I just want to go through it. I think that's what most people do, so that's why it's a good strategy. It gets,
Right.
When other people do it, it gets you out your game. But
Okay.
I was pretty vanilla with how I did it.
All right, so our first category, I will tell you, we have two categories. The first one is Brush High School, because that's where you went. And then we know you went to Orange. So we also will have, actually,
Orange?
we will have a category Orange. So
Well,
you'll get,
why don't
you'll
you
get
do
your
Orange
chance.
first? He's a guest. I just, what am I? It's not my show. I'm sorry. I apologize. No,
I just want to know, you think anybody ever said Alex Trebek what order to do this in? But okay, sorry.
You're not Alex Trebek. How many times can I tell you
try.
that?
All right. So
You're not
the
even Don
category,
Pardo.
The category is Orange. If you think you know the. Remember, please, to put your response in the form of a question. Okay. So the first.
Excuse me. Good luck.
And our contestant. Oh, I'm sorry. Who's making that noise over there? Our contestants are Steve Oppenheim, now currently in Shaker Heights, but went to Orange High School. And would you introduce yourself?
My name is Bruce Bogart, and I went to Brush High.
All right, let's play Jeopardy. Our first answer is Pepper Pike, Ohio.
It's pretty wide open.
No, you're supposed to ring the bell if you know the answer. Bruce. first.
Where's Orange High?
Correct.
That's all I get?
All right, the next question. The next answer is 2.4 miles. No help from the audience, please.
Is someone keeping score?
Yes.
What is how far Orange High School is from Corky and Lenny's?
That is correct. I can't, Bruce, someone who's eaten all those meals here and didn't know it. You better start thinking.
My problem is I never left.
Okay. All right. Oh boy, I think this is a good one. For those of you that are Ohio State fans,
It's
you notice
1-1,
our sign
right?
is
It's
going
1-1.
1-1. Okay. Buckeye Battle Cry. Bruce, you gotta ring the bell, Bruce.
What is the Ohio State fight song?
Correct. But that was incorrect. Do you know the answer?
Nothing relates to Orange.
The Orange High School fight song is the same as the Buckeye Battle Cry.
We were so bad at sports, I don't think I ever heard
All
of
right, so we're still at 1-1.
No, do I lose one? I lose one, right?
We're good enough.
All right, the last question in this category. 2000 grad that starred on NBC Saturday Night Live.
Who's Vanessa Bayer?
Correct.
We've only got like 2 famous alums, so you have to know.
Who's the other?
And my wife.
Well, George Stephanopoulos went.
Oh, wait, okay.
My
I don't
wife,
count here.
right. My wife grew up with knowing Vanessa Bayer, so we're happy to
Very
say
talented.
that. Okay, so next category is brush or South Euclid Lyndhurst. Let's make it a little wider. Okay. And the first answer is 67 grad that found name. Excuse me. Cut that out. Let's try it. 60. We don't edit this show. 67 grad that found fame leading Sal's boys to Cleveland softball Sweet 16.
Alan Weeder.
That's right.
Yeah!
You didn't know that one.
Didn't phrase.
I'm on
Didn't know
fire,
that
baby.
one, huh? All right. Okay. All right. All right.
This is fixed.
The
Yeah, I
cor-
talked about the quiz show scandal.
the correct answer is. This is a 2-part answer. Okay. Had 2-car garage without a car. Had a car but no garage. Bruce.
Who is Julia Stockfish and Dennis Gaffin?
Right. Okay.
Yes!
That's.
I'm
3
on
for
fire,
Bruce.
Steve.
3
I'm
for
on
Bruce.
fire.
All right.
It should be Bruce B on the back of my
right.
shirt.
All right, here we go. The answer is the two. Let me see. How do I say that? Okay. The answer is Memorial, and Greenview. No help from the audience. Oh, I can't. You don't know this. All right. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. What are the 2 junior highs?
That's what you meant?
The 2 junior highs. Okay. All right. All right. Here's a good one. Here's a good one. I think a lot of you might know the answer to this. So if you didn't, as soon as you know it, now don't yell it out. Okay. The answer is 65 grad. He won 80 Cy Young Award with Baltimore. Oh.
Who is Mike Flanagan?
No.
Who is Steve Stone?
Yes. All right. All right.
Flanagan's 79.
Okay. All right. So now it's time, Alan, if you'll bring us we have the final Jeopardy question. So how many do you have, Bruce? Help me out.
I don't know. I think I have 2. I lost one. I made a mistake.
Right. You made a mistake on that one.
I think I have 1.
No, I think.
No, I think it's tied, actually. In my mind, it was tied.
I think it's tied, yeah. So here we go. Final Jeopardy question. Please write down on here
How much?
how many points you want to go for, and then we'll want you to write your
Don't we
answer
get to know
down.
the category first?
Right, I'm going to tell you the.
Because it affects how much I want to bet.
That's true, and the category is Corky and Lenny's.
Can you bet more than you have?
No. Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. You can hold that there. All right. So the answer is.
Oh, we need to write our.
You need it. Yeah, and the other piece. Did you get 2 pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can afford 2 pieces.
There it is. And Gloria, keep Gloria out of here because she knows the answer. The actual first name of Corky Kurlander, the founder of Corky and Lenny's.
First of all, it's Kurland.
Okay.
Edit out the ER.
All right, everybody, please help me with the music while they write their answers out. Da, 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 da. Come on, a little louder. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Everybody watching this on YouTube, where else can you see this with the fabulous Boomer Boys? Da. Okay. All right, let's go. It's a tie. We will go with our guest first, our defending champion. And your answer is?
What is Kenny?
No, Kenny is the son. Good try. All right, Bruce?
I screwed up.
Oh,
I screwed up. I'll tell you why I screwed
all of
up.
it.
I know I'm right, but I didn't have it in the form of a question. Sanford.
That's right. Sanford is but since you didn't have a form of a question,
Does that cost
can
me
we go to the judges?
$30,000?
Our security guard, what do you say, Alan? Can we give him the credit? No! You'll both have to come back next time for
Congratulations, pal.
Jeopardy!
That was fun.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Well, there you go. Thank you so much for participating in our show. I appreciate it. And thanks to the audience for a little singing there. And you know, we did something a little different tonight. And those of you that have been watching our show the last 17 episodes, we always like to have Northeast Ohio personalities. And Steve, you certainly become one. There's no doubt about it. And with all your following on Facebook, and I know the people in Orange are proud of you. And now that you're a Shaker Heights resident like I am, just adds to the fact that you're a celebrity here in town.
Prestige of the area.
Yeah, that's definitely. You've been up to the New Van Aken area there? What do you?
I pass it a lot. I haven't
Oh,
actually.
you got to
gone
stop
anywhere.
in
Yeah.
Shaker Heights. It's
One of
really.
any of the restaurants particularly? Or-
No, they really don't. They have like a food court. They have some restaurants
I'm
coming
glad
in.
they didn't get rid of Pearl. I don't want Pearl.
No, that's not the one. No, not those, but they have other ones. Oh, that reminds me. Talking about how the world is so great, I'm going to get back to my vacation for a second. I was at the Club Med. There's a guy with a Cleveland shirt on. I'm wearing my brown shirt. And the guy stopped me. Where are you from? He's from Cleveland. And he said, you know, of course I plugged the program. And he says, Adam Siegel, you got to tell him I know him. Adam Siegel works behind the counter here at Corky and Lenny's. So what a small world.
And again, any questions on that after the show, talk to Bob. He'll also tell you what he had for breakfast yesterday. Whatever you want to know.
All right. Well, we do want to remind everybody that on next week's show, we have another local personality, Stacy Vincent. It just so happens she actually is from Orange. Did you know her? Or is she out of your league when you were dating? I don't know. She was
Probably.
pretty, I don't know. She was pretty cute. But anyway, Stacy's going to be on. She's a lot of people might know her as Stacy Edelman. That was her maiden name. But she worked out of Washington, D.C. as a television correspondent and covered the White House and the political scene and used to do reports back. So she's got some pretty good stories about that. And she's also was a judge in the Miss USA contest. And we've talked about that a little bit on the program before. So she's going to have some insight into that. She was an actual one
Is
of the
that how you
judges.
know her, by the way?
Huh?
Is that how you know her?
No. But she'll be here. And she also is a performer and does some singing with her husband Leland in the area. So I think she's got a wide variety of things. Local personality will fit in. And it's going to start our month of March where we've got, again, another great group of guests.
Oh,
coming
a
up.
phenomenal March. We got Scott Longert, local author, wrote his second book.
My uncle, by the way.
He's your uncle?
Your uncle?
Wait a second. How is he your
Oh, my
uncle?
It sounds fixed.
She over there is my mother's sister, and she married Scott.
Oh, let's get a
She-
shot. Smile for the camera there. Tyler, get you.
All right. Who knew?
Who knew that? Yeah, I didn't know that either.
By the way, do you know Scott's real first name?
Scott.
You changed it? Oh, I made someone blush. We'll move. We're going to move right forward. All right. And I'm going to say this
No,
also.
no, and he thinks my vacation is boring, right? Okay, all right, go
Well,
ahead.
no, matter of fact, his first name is not boring. But we'll talk. Maybe we'll be allowed to ask him. on here.
Right.
But if nothing else, people will come back to find out.
Right, and we also have Dan Caudlin, who's
Right.
got a new book out. Have you ever read the sports page growing up? And still on Fox 8 News, he does a high school sports football season. Dan Caudlin is going to be with us later in March, too. So we've got some good guests coming on. Please, everybody here, tell your friends to come on by to Corky and Lenny's. I think everybody have a good time tonight with our guests.
All right. Good enough.
You have a good time? I
did.
All right, that's what we're all about. No politics. We just want to have a lot of fun here tonight. Bruce, you always have a last word.
I just want to thank Alan, my bodyguard, getting me through another night. Not one issue tonight. Thank you, my friend. And I will be back next week, too.
All right. And we'll see you then. And until then, think of baby boomers. Good night. Thanks a lot. You had a good time? I hope everybody had fun.